What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Just like the last time I posted, we have more news on the Brandon Aiyuk front. Has a trade been done? No. Has another offer been put on the table? We don't know, and we probably will not be privy to that sort of information unless something happens. What we do know is he's met with and had discussions with the 49ers on multiple occasions and has come away with no contract in hand yet. And coming off of drafting a wide receiver, already paying another wide receiver, having a MVP type running back weapon and one of the type tight ends in the league, it's not looking good for the 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk when it comes to this contract extension. He wants Amon-Ra St. Brown type money. He does Amon-Ra St. Brown type production. So I understand him playing contract negotiation chicken with the San Francisco 49ers. But Jayden Daniels and Brandon Aiyuk have been playing best friend. They've been on like a best friend world tour this offseason. We've heard it multiple times in multiple interviews from both guys how close they are. They've gone everywhere together. We've seen them in malls. We've seen them on the Pivot podcast. We've seen them everywhere together. And he has made it clear the Commanders are on his short list. Jayden has made it clear in interviews if there was one guy in the league he could play with, it'd be Brandon Aiyuk. But at the end of the day, they're just two guys that play for two separate teams talking. This just in, according to ML Football, Brandon Aiyuk just posted on his TikTok, his personal TikTok, and he posted like 20 images on TikTok. Weird that he posted a bunch of images on TikTok, which is like a video, short form video app. But anyways, one of the pictures is a still from Washington Commanders mini camp practice. This is film. This is practice film of an install session. The type of information, the only people are privy to practice install film are players, personnel, staff of a team. And you're not really supposed to be sharing that information with the ops, with guys on other teams. Do I think that players around the league do this shit all the time with their friends? Absolutely, because you got boys, you have a group chat, you have a group chat, and you know it's like people at work. You got a work group chat. Y'all send each other shit that you're not supposed to, that would go against company policy and shit like that. You know where he got this still from practice. Like, I don't think we should be sharing pictures of us in a shotgun 2 running back set. I don't want to spoil what Chef Cliff Kingsbury has been cooking up because nobody knows what our offense is going to look like or what type of tweaks and variations have been made to his air raid offense since his time in Arizona. But Brandon Aiyuk hopped his happy ass right on TikTok and posted a picture of him watching Washington Commanders minicamp practice install. Somebody's going to step out there and say, man, this is a nothing burger. Bro, you're not supposed to do this. I feel very bittersweet about this. On one side, we have an all-pro caliber player who is thirsty as hell. He is starving. He is dying to get in the building with his boy and be a part of what Adam Peters is cooking here in Washington. And it feels amazing because for quite some time, as a fan of this team, I felt like that beaten, bruised, and battered spouse. Nobody's flirted with me no more. Nobody's looking at the kid. Nobody's checking for us. Nobody compliments us. It's like we got butterflies in our stomach again because somebody's showing interest, and not just anybody, somebody of value is looking at us, and it's like, ooh, I'm ready to get back out in these streets again. Because for quite some time, nobody of significance has wanted anything to do with this organization. So one side of it, I'm smitten. I love it, and I want nothing more than to bring Brandon Aiyuk to be a part of what we're building here because I'm not saying no to 26-year-old elite-ish players. On the other side of things, I don't want our team to get penalized. I don't know what tampering is when it comes to this sort of thing, but posting a picture, a still of another team's practice installs on social media has tampering or some type of NFL policy violation written all over it. And you need to relax, Brandon Aiyuk. We know you want to be here. You put it on wax. You said it at the Pivot Podcast. And since that Pivot Podcast, he's met again with the San Francisco 49ers and has still walked away with no contract. So I get it. He's trying to put fillers in the air. He's not only trying to manifest it and speak it into existence, he's literally trying to curate his way to Washington. It feels amazing, but you need to fucking relax, because what we don't need is to acquire Brandon Aiyuk for some compensation draft-wise, maybe a player, a new contract, and a tampering violation on top of that. We just watched the Eagles get investigated for tampering. We just got the Falcons who just got penalized for tampering. I want nothing to do with that. We are finally moving on to conversation and rhetoric surrounding this team being 100% about football. Please don't make us go back to nonsense. And I don't think that's what's happening here. Jayden, love you. Love everything that I've heard about you this offseason. My boy, if we're going to be sharing offseason install with our guys, we need to make sure they're going to keep that in the group chat. They're going to keep it in the text thread, because ultimately, how else we think Brandon Aiyuk acquired this practice install? He ain't get it from Cliff. He ain't get it from Quinn. He ain't get it from Adam Peters. We know where he got the shit. From the person that's been parading and gallivanting around the streets, and anybody who has a phone out can see where he got this information from. I love it. I love the brouhaha. I love the kumbaya unity and manifestation of trying to get your brother on the team, but we do not need to be slapped on the wrist with tampering charges. I need all the picks to stay here, and if any picks are going to be on their way out the door, they only need to be to acquire something valuable. An asset needs to be added to the organization. Don't need to be losing them for no reason, but that's why I'm stuck in the middle of this. How do y'all feel about this? Because this is a topic. This is a topic of conversation. And as we draw closer to camp, we are now 3 weeks away from training camp. It is the 7th of July. Washington camp, I believe, opens like the 28th, or at least it opens to the public on the 28th. So we're less than 3 weeks away from training camp beginning. Sounds like the perfect time, if you're going to make a move like this, to get a guy on board, because he gets a couple weeks to get acclimated and acquiesced to the new language, the new playbook, and the new system and the role he would have here in Washington. Until he signs on the dotted line with the 49ers, this is going to be a conversation and a topic we need to be shelved, and we need to have it in our pocket and ready to go, because this is not going away until he signs a long-term contract somewhere. I'm with it. I'm all for it. But I'm also saying, Jayden Daniels, Brandon Aiyuk, please move with caution and please relax. We don't need to be posting. Like, nobody needs to see that we got a shotgun 2 running back set. Even though I'm sure anybody could pull up everything Cliff's ever ran, nobody's seen the current Commanders and what we consist of. We have 20-something new players. We're going to have over 11 new starters on this team this year. Nobody knows what this team looks like. So we don't need to be showing the public or advertising any of our hand before it's shown week 1 at Tampa Bay at 425. You feel me? So I love it. I love the spirit of it. I love the camaraderie of it. And I love a man trying to control his own destiny and manifest his new destination, because the players have a lot more power than they used to have, so they can kind of make things happen for themselves. But at the same time, let's fucking hold our horses, because we do not need to be putting shit like this on wax. Nobody needs to be seeing practice film. And also, as the quarterback, we don't necessarily need to be giving away that type of information. But hey, I could be wrong. He could have acquired it in some other way. But let's call a spade a spade. We know where he got the shit. But let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. We are 3 weeks out from training camp. Aiyuk is dying to become a Washington Commander. Are we going to make it happen? I think he's going to somehow be a Washington Commander by the start of the 2025 season. I don't know if we get him this year, but I think we're the team that's going to end up giving him the long-term deal sometime next offseason or maybe at the deadline this year. But let's see how it all plays out. A couple weeks out from camp, I promise you the content will be ramped up again and we will be fully on and popping once training camp begins in a couple weeks. That's all I got for right now. Hell to the Washington Commanders. Until next time, Commander Rio, out.